What if reality isn't broken, but your brain is? These science experiments look like glitches in the real world, but every single one of them is completely real. We trust our eyes to show us the truth. We believe what we see. But science keeps proving that reality isn't always what it seems. In this video, you'll see real science experiments that look like glitches in reality, moments where perspective breaks, time feels wrong, and your brain just can't keep up. And get this, none of this is CGI, this is reality, just behaving very strangely. Let's start with a room that defies all logic, the office room. When you look into this room, something bizarre happens. A person walking from one corner to the other seems to magically shrink or grow into a giant. It looks like a camera trick or something out of a fantasy movie, but it's not. The room is cleverly distorted, built with a trapezoidal shape and a sloped floor. The walls are angled, but from a specific viewpoint, your brain is tricked into seeing a normal, rectangular room. Because we expect rooms to be square, our brain chooses to believe that, and instead decides the people inside must be changing size. It is a powerful illusion that shows how our past experiences and assumptions literally shape the world we see. Our brains will bend reality to fit what they think should be true. Now, let's mess with your hearing. This is the McGurk effect. I'm going to play a sound. Listen closely to what you hear. Now, watch me say the same sound, but pay attention to my lips. What did you hear that time? Was it different? Here's the secret, the audio never changed. It was the exact same sound both times. The only thing that changed was what you saw. The McGurk effect is a fascinating phenomenon where what you see overrides what you hear. When you saw my lips forming a different sound, your brain combined the visual information with the audio and created a third, completely new sound inside your head. It proves that our senses don't work in isolation. They constantly collaborate, and sometimes they get their signals crossed, creating a glitch in our perception of reality. Have you ever seen an object that simply couldn't exist? Welcome to the world of impossible objects, like the famous Penrose triangle. Look at this shape. It seems like a solid, three-dimensional triangle. But if you try to trace its sides, you'll find yourself in an endless loop. Each corner makes sense on its own, but the entire object is a paradox. It's a 2D drawing that our brain tries to interpret as a 3D object, and it fails. Artists like MC Escher were masters of this, creating entire worlds that fold in on themselves in impossible ways. These objects aren't glitches in physics. They are glitches in our brain's ability to process two-dimensional information and translate it into a three-dimensional understanding. They exploit the shortcuts our mind takes to make sense of the world, and in doing so, they break it. Next, we dive into infinity. This is the Drost effect. You've probably seen it before, a picture that contains a smaller version of itself, which contains an even smaller version, and so on, forever. It's like standing between two mirrors and seeing an infinite tunnel of your own reflection. The effect is named after a brand of Dutch cocoa that used this design on its packaging. But it's more than just a clever artistic trick. Mathematically, it's a form of recursion, a process that repeats itself indefinitely. When we see a Drost effect image, our brain tries to process the entire infinite sequence at once, which is impossible. It creates a feeling of vertigo, a visual loop that feels like it's pulling you in. It's a beautiful, mesmerizing glitch that shows us the limits of our perception when faced with the concept of forever. Let's slow things down, way down. We've all seen movies where a hero shoots a gun and the bullet slowly flies through the air. But have you ever seen what really happens when a bullet hits glass? In real time, it's just to shatter over in a fraction of a second. But with a high-speed camera, we can see the glitch. As the bullet makes contact, it doesn't just punch a hole. Instead, a web of cracks radiates outwards at supersonic speeds, faster than the bullet itself. For a split second, the glass is fractured into 1,000 pieces, but it's still held together by sheer tension. Then the bullet passes through, and the whole structure collapses. It's a moment frozen in time that our eyes could never see. It reveals a hidden reality. A sequence of events so fast it looks like time itself is breaking apart frame by frame. Finally, let's talk about the lag in your own system. Think you have fast reactions? Try this. When you see a light flash, press a button. It feels instant, right? But it's not. There's a measurable delay your reaction time. It takes time for the light to hit your eye, for the signal to travel to your brain, for your brain to process it and send a command to your finger, and for your finger to move. This whole process takes about a quarter of a second for the average person. So here's the mind-bending part. You are always living about a quarter of a second in the past. Your conscious experience of the world is not happening in real time, it's a delayed broadcast. Your brain is constantly playing catch-up, predicting what's about to happen to make the world feel seamless and instantaneous. That feeling of now is actually an illusion, a memory of a moment that has just passed. It's the ultimate biological glitch. So did reality break today, or did our perception? Science shows us again and again that what we see isn't always the truth, it's just how our brain interprets it. From rooms that change your size, to sounds you only hear with your eyes, to the lag in your own consciousness. These glitches aren't flaws in the universe. They're features of our own amazing and sometimes flawed human minds. If these experiments looked like glitches to you, our next video goes even deeper into the rabbit hole. Subscribe and keep questioning reality. Thanks for watching.